Hello, basketball players. Today I'm going to talk to you about the greatest secondary sports that you could play if you're a basketball player and you just want to stay athletic and possibly help yourself become a well-rounded athlete. Now, basketball is a very amazing sport. It's my favorite sport in the whole wide world, if you haven't already guessed that. But from there, it's the only real sport that I have played pretty much my whole entire life. So, from there, what sports can you run, can you play, that can help you get better at basketball? Number one is football. Believe it or not, football is very great for core and upper body strength. And then, it's also great if you're a running back or a wide receiver for running ability, for basically stamina overall. If you're an offensive or defensive lineman, it'll help your legs because you're really going to be working your legs in practice to be able to really push the other players out of the way so that you can either stop them from tackling your quarterback or help yourself kill their quarterback. Another sport that you can play is volleyball. Now, volleyball is widely known as at least up here in Canada, a girly sport or a sport that most guys don't really want to play unless it's on the beach. Now, basically, at least that's what I had when I grew up. So if that's not the case for now or yourself, I'm sorry. But anyways, volleyball is a great sport for basketball. And the reason for that is all of the jumping. And especially if you can play it on the sand, your leg workout is going to be amazing. You're going to be able to dunk like crazy. Now, there was a player who I used to play pickup basketball with at the YMCA who played college level volleyball. And he was the worst three-point shooter I've ever seen. He was the worst shooter in general that I've ever seen. He was a true volleyball player. However, there was one thing that nobody could stop, and that was his ability to dunk. He was able to windmill dunk over people because of his ability to jump. In volleyball, you need to go up, you need to block people's shots over that net. You need to spike the ball over that net. I used to like to play volleyball. It was a lot of fun. I never played it competitively, but I've played it on the beach a few times. I've played it in phys ed class when I was in high school, and I used to enjoy it. But for a volleyball player, you need to jump, and you need to jump a lot, and you need to jump very high. So, that is going to help you become a faster basketball player because when you jump higher, you've got more fast twitch muscles in your legs so that you can run faster. Your first step is going to be faster, but also you're going to be able to jump higher so that when you do want to, dunk the basketball when you get older or when you can. And then the third sport that I like to have my players play is soccer. Now, again, up here in North America, that's generally a very boring sport to play. Europeans and Asians, they really like that game. However, in North America, it's usually like a 1-0 game or a 2-0, 1-2. It's, to us, a very boring game. However, it's actually very good for basketball. Now, the reason why it's very good for basketball is the foot coordination. I actually had a player once who made what we call up here a rep team, which is basically our version of AAU. And he made my team, not because of his shooting ability, not because he could run very fast, because he was a very fast player, but he couldn't really shoot. He made the team because of his defense. If you want to become a better defensive player, the one thing you want to do is play soccer. Now, Steve Nash has also said this. He's a soccer player himself, and it helps with your foot speed. And this player was amazing. I would stick him on the other team's best player, and he could shut them down. Because of his foot speed, he could keep up with the opposing player. So, there are 3 sports that you could run yourself that, from there, can help you become a better basketball player. Volleyball with jumping, soccer with foot speed, and football with just overall strength. Now, in the perfect world, we could play all 4 of those sports. However, if you're trying to really go pro in basketball, you can really only play those sports in the off season. And even in the off season these days is really basketball focused. Because up here in Canada, we have high school basketball and rep basketball that goes generally from September all the way up until April, May. And then we have AAU, if you're a top level player, that goes from like roughly March-ish up until roughly June to July. So it's a year-round sport up here in Canada, and the same is down in the States. Over in Europe, it might be different. Over in Asia, it might be different. I'm not too sure. I've never really been over there yet. I'd like to go over there someday. However, if you want to play these as a fun pickup game, grab yourself a soccer ball and just start kicking it up in the air. Maybe playing with a couple of friends, 3-on-3. It's 10 o'clock according to my computer. But you can play some 3-on-3, 5-on-5 soccer just at the park. And then you can go and play some volleyball at the beach. There's lots of beaches around if you're near water. And if not, you can buy your own kind of net and play volleyball with a couple of friends on the beach, because that's a fantastic workout. And then for football, football is generally in the true off-season of basketball. I don't know about what it is like in the States. I know up here in Canada, they generally run it September, October, and then it's finished for the winter. And it's roughly a 2-month sport up here in Canada. So those are kind of the 3 sports I would suggest. Anyways, I hope that you have enjoyed today's video. I hope that I haven't hurt too many feelings when I kind of spoke badly about volleyball and soccer. But anyways, I'll see you guys again tomorrow for another twice a day basketball video.